Imagine a world where billion-dollar companies are treated like fixer-upper houses on a reality show, where restructuring means someone's getting fired, and where success is measured not in years, but in exit strategies. Welcome to private equity, the shadowy big brother of investment banking, where the stakes are higher, the deals are bigger, and the yachts are, well, considerably longer. Today, we're infiltrating the most exclusive club in finance, where partners make investment bankers look like coupon-clipping penny pinchers, and where the phrase, "we're buying the entire company," isn't followed by laughter, but by someone actually writing a check with more zeros than your phone number. So how do private equity firms actually make their mountains of cash? Well, imagine if house flippers had Ivy League MBAs and billions in other people's money. That's essentially private equity in a custom-tailored nutshell. The basic formula is deliciously simple. Buy companies, fix them, sell them for more. It's like playing Monopoly, except the properties are actual corporations with thousands of employees whose livelihoods hang in the balance. Just a minor detail. PE firms raise massive funds from investors like pension funds, university endowments, and sovereign wealth funds, basically anyone with billions sitting around getting bored. These investors, called limited partners or LPs, hand over their money for 10+ years and pray that the PE firm doesn't treat it like a weekend in Vegas. The PE firm then goes shopping for companies like you, browse Netflix, except instead of clicking Watch Now, they click Purchase Entire Corporation. They typically target businesses that are underperforming, corporate speak for someone messed up, unfashionable, like that sweater in the back of your closet that might come back in style, unloved, the corporate equivalent of a sad puppy at the shelter, but with factories. Once they own the company, PE partners transform into corporate surgeons, cutting costs, goodbye jobs, merging operations, goodbye more jobs, and streamlining processes, you guessed it, goodbye even more jobs. They'll load the company with debt faster than a college freshman with their first credit card. But don't worry, it's strategic debt, which is apparently the good kind, like strategic carbs. After 3 to 7 years of this corporate makeover, they sell the business to another company, another PE firm, or take it public through an IPO. The goal? Return 2 to 3 times the initial investment, minimum. That's not a typo. Doubling or tripling money is considered the baseline for success. And if they fail, well, at least the PE partners still collected their management fees. PE firms make money in ways so ingenious, they make investment banks look like they're running a lemonade stand. First, there's the infamous 2 and 20 fee structure. 2% annual management fees on all committed capital, regardless of whether it's actually invested. That means a $5 billion fund generates $100 million in fees every year just for existing. It's like charging rent on money that's sitting in your wallet. Then comes the real moneymaker, the 20% carried interest, or carry, which is PE speak for we're taking a fifth of all profits. When a $500 million investment turns into $1.5 billion, the PE firm pockets $200 million of that $1 billion profit. And the best part? It's taxed as capital gains, not income, because apparently making money by moving money around is essentially the same as growing soybeans. But wait, there's more. PE firms have turned nickel and diming into an art form through monitoring fees, transaction fees, and consulting fees charged to their portfolio companies. It's like buying a car and then charging the car a fee for the privilege of being driven by you. One major PE firm made over $500 million in additional fees from companies it owned, which is a bit like your ATM charging you to access your own money. Except in this case, the ATM also fired your company's entire HR department. At the top of the PE food chain sit the partners, former investment bankers who decided that advising on deals wasn't nearly as fun as doing them themselves. These are the people who somehow looked at 80-hour work weeks and thought, needs more pressure. Below them are principals and vice presidents who do the heavy lifting of finding deals, analyzing companies until their spreadsheets have spreadsheets, and executing the partner's vision, which usually involves explaining to company executives why firing half their workforce is actually optimizing human capital allocation. At the bottom are the associates and analysts, young Ivy League graduates who thought investment banking hours were tough until they discovered that PE firms consider 2 a.m. a reasonable time to start a new financial model. These bright-eyed financiers willingly sacrifice their youth for the slim chance of one day becoming partners, much like how lottery players sacrifice their dollars for the slim chance of buying their own island. The most hilarious part is how they describe themselves on their websites. You'll never see we buy companies, fire people, and sell for profit. Instead, it's all value creation specialists and operational excellence experts and strategic growth partners, which is like a wolf describing itself as a free-range livestock management consultant. Now for everyone's favorite part, the absolutely obscene amounts of money these people make. PE compensation packages are like those hot sauce challenges that make people sign waivers, except the side effect isn't heartburn, it's the irresistible urge to buy professional sports teams. Associates, the newbies, $200,000, comparable to investment banking, but with the added bonus of getting to say, we're buying the company, instead of, we're advising on buying the company. Vice presidents, 4 to 7 years in, $400,000 to $800,000. Enough to afford a luxury apartment in Manhattan and the therapy needed to process the fact that you haven't seen it in daylight for 3 months. Principals, 7 to 10 years, $800,000 to $2 million. Now we're in second home territory, though you'll only visit it via the security camera app on your phone while you're closing another deal. Partners, 10 plus years, $3 million to $10 million in a mediocre year. In a good year with successful exits, $10 million to $50 million plus. At this point, your kids don't just have a trust fund, they have a trust fund for their trust fund. The most mind-boggling part? At firms like Blackstone, Apollo, or KKR, top partners regularly take home more than $100 million in a single year. That's not buy a mansion money, that's buy the entire neighborhood and rename it after yourself money. And the wealth gap within the same firm would make the Grand Canyon look like a sidewalk crack. A first-year associate might make $250,000 while working on a deal that generates a $50 million payday for the partner. That's like your boss buying a private island with the money they saved by replacing office bathroom paper towels with a sign that says, "Just shake it off." What's life like as a PE partner? Imagine having enough money to buy anything you want, but barely enough time to enjoy a sandwich. These financial gladiators live a bizarre dichotomy. Their homes are palatial mansions in Greenwich or waterfront penthouses in Manhattan, which they primarily experience through property tax bills and occasional weekend visits. Their vacation homes in the Hamptons, Aspen, and St. Bart's are maintained by full-time staff who probably spend more time there than the owners. The PE partner's natural habitat isn't these luxury residences. It's the corporate boardroom, the private jet, or the corner table at restaurants so exclusive they don't even have names, just GPS coordinates whispered between billionaires. Their schedule is a masterclass in high-stakes time management. Breakfast meetings with CEOs of portfolio companies, lunch with potential investors who want to give them another $1 billion, afternoon calls with their team about which departments of which company to eliminate, dinner with investment bankers pitching new acquisition targets, and late-night calls with lawyers structuring deals so complicated they require their own zip code. All this while maintaining relationships with their portfolio company executives who secretly fear them, their investors who secretly envy them, their competitors who secretly hate them, their families who might not recognize them without FaceTime. One PE partner told me, "I don't buy time with money, I buy money with time." This explains why many have staff at home larger than some of the departments they've eliminated, including personal chefs, household managers, multiple nannies, private tutors, and sometimes even family photographers to document family moments they frequently miss. For those who make it to partner, private equity offers wealth beyond most people's wildest fantasies. A successful 20-year career can generate enough money to fund your own space program or buy a small country, though admittedly only one of the less popular ones. However, the attrition rate would make Darwin uncomfortable. Less than 5% of those who enter PE ever make it to partner level. Most exit to lesser positions at normal companies, where they frequently annoy colleagues by beginning sentences with, "when I was in private equity." As one former PE professional put it, in private equity, you trade your 30s and 40s for the possibility of joining the ultra-wealthy in your 50s. It's like making a deal with a very sophisticated devil who wears Ferragamo shoes and speaks in acronyms even Google can't decipher. The irony? Many PE partners eventually retire only to discover they've forgotten how to relax. They end up starting family offices to manage their wealth, which is essentially creating a job for themselves after no longer needing to work. It's like escaping prison, only to build a replica of your cell in your backyard because the freedom feels too strange. That's our inside look at private equity partners. Next time, we'll explore another high-stakes profession where people trade human connections for the ability to make entire industries tremble at their email signature. Until then, remember, the best job isn't the one that pays the most. It's the one that doesn't make you calculate the dollar value of missing your child's birthday party. Oh, and if this glimpse into the world of financial demigods made your job suddenly seem wonderful by comparison, smash that subscribe button faster than a PE firm smashes company pensions. We've got plenty more career deep dives coming your way.